It is 100 degrees outside and I'm wearing a long sleeve because fall happens up here before it happens in the valley. It's time for a book haul. Usually this time of year is when most book organizations and stores have their biggest sales. Barnes & Noble has their 50% off, their big book haul sale. So I decided to splurge because school started literally yesterday and I need something to get my mind off that fact. So I'll start first with fiction, nonfiction, and then manga and graphic novels. First, I have Vladimir by Julia May Jones. This is a book about a professor couple who both teach at the same university, and they have a strange kind of open relationship. That is until the male professor gets accused of inappropriate student-teacher relationship allegations. The female professor is questioning her relationship at the same time that a hot young Greek Casanova professor shows up to the university. This book is about how that woman explores her former relationship and how she's enticed by this new one. I've been told this book is hard to read in public because of the saucy cover, but that's never stopped me from reading a book, so. Next I have Self-Care by Leigh Stein. I can't really describe the synopsis of this book. Every summary I try to find has a different explanation for the character's motives, so I'll just say that it's about how fake beauty gurus and wellness blogs tend to be and how social media is really sold to women as this massive scam. I saw a review of this saying that it's a book about destroying the white wellness industry, and yeah. I don't need to hear anything else. Next I have The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I'm so sorry if I'm not saying that correctly. This was super buzzy when it came out. Book of the month darling, really. Yet another novel that takes place at a university. A handsome Greek professor is adored by all his students, specifically by a group of a secret female society known as the Maidens. When one of the maidens is found dead, our main character, Mariana, which is the school's therapist, I believe, is set on a mission to prove that the professor is the one behind it. A murder mystery. I am really excited. I haven't read one in a while and they're kind of my wheelhouse. Next, I have Detransition Baby by Torrey Peters. I've been wanting to get this book forever, but just thought it was too smart for me. But Alex from What Page Are You On said it was not about perceiving the book like a think piece and more about the message that it had. So I'm giving in, we'll see. It's about a couple named Reese and Amy. And Reese has the dream life that she's always wanted, an apartment in New York, a beautiful girlfriend, a decent job, but Amy decides to detransition and go by Ames, which turns their relationship and their lives upside down. Ames' boss reveals that she's pregnant and she's not really sure she wants to keep it, which excites Ames. He thinks that it's the one thing that can set their relationship with Reese right. But it also never works when a couple tries to have a baby in the midst of their fighting relationship. So it's got a blurb from Carmen Maria Machado. I'm gonna read it. Next I have Velvet Was the Night by Silvia Moreno Garcia. She wrote Mexican Gothic. I wanted to read Mexican Gothic, but it contains incest, which is like the one thing I don't read. Velvet Was the Night is her latest novel and takes place in Mexico City in the 1970s. While the town is up in arms in student protest, our main character, Maite, seeks peace in her romance mystery novels. When Leonora, Maite's beautiful artistic neighbor, goes missing during this protest, she decides it's up to her to fulfill the mystery. She also finds out what the students are fighting for and just what the government is hiding. This sounds more gritty, more political thriller than her other novel, which I think I'll take to just fine. Next I have The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Ogawa. This is considered her masterpiece. This copy is beat up. She is bent, she is yellowed. My professor gave this to me when cleaning out his office, so thank you, Professor Simmons. I am told that this is about a professor who was once this revered math teacher who unfortunately got into an accident and can only remember 80 minutes worth of memories. And so his housekeeper and her son try to maintain interactions with him to see if he can keep his memory longer, while he just seems to respond in mathematical equations. So we'll see. It seems like a very small book. And my professor wrote notes in the margins, and I love a book with notes in the margins. So Next we have Nightcrawling by Leila Motltey. Now we're talking big and buzzy, and boy can I not wait. Leila Motltey was only 19 when she wrote this, and it was long-listed for the Booker Prize, so I had to know what that girl was writing about if she's writing novels and getting on list at age 19. Nightcrawling is about Kiara, a young black woman living with her brother in East Oakland. They're trying to just get by, but her brother's looking for rap fame, while Kiara is just looking for a steady paycheck. While looking for a job, Kiara runs into a misunderstanding which turns into a financial opportunity that of course turns into this massive scandal. Kiara's put into a dangerous scandal that she can't afford to walk out of. The subject matter is my bread and butter. I cannot believe she was only 19. She is the youngest Booker Prize list entry, I believe, ever. I'm supporting my homegirl no matter what. Next we have Emily Itami's Fault Lines. This is described as a marriage between Sally Rooney, who I really like, and Haruki Murakami, who I really do not like, who I loathe. So I'm eager to see what this marriage entails. From what I understand, it's about a housewife who has the perfect life, a hardworking husband, 2 beautiful children, an apartment in Tokyo, and she really can't take it anymore. She's living the same day every day. It's very Groundhog Day for her, and she wants to just end it. One night, she runs into this mysterious restaurateur who changes her life. His life is thrilling, exciting, a little sinful, everything her life is not. So she decides to live a double life until she realizes this is not something she can do forever. Alright, so the premise seems a little tropey, housewife living a double life, but I just love them. I love melodramatic like this because it's just funny to see how grateful they are at the end of these novels, and I want to see if this book does anything different. I don't know what it is, but the synopsis screams Mexican novella to me, where the women slap each other and there are constant explosions for no reason. I think it'll be like that. We'll see. I have Take My Hand by Perkins Valdez. Oh my god, this was absolutely a cover buy, but the subject matter was so heartbreaking I had to pick it up. We're in 1970s Alabama following a black nurse named Sybil who's been given the opportunity to help other black women take control of their bodies and futures through her family planning clinic. To her shock and horror, Sybil's first patients are 2 little girls ages 11 and 13, and are being sent there to be put on birth control. Sybil has to choose between her morals and her duty when an incident occurs that changes the 3 of their lives forever. The novel fast forwards to Sybil's future setting. I believe she's retired in the future, and she just can't seem to let go of the awful memories that came with that clinic. This is based on a true story of 2 little girls who were sterilized without their consent in the 1970s. So I am eager to read this story and do my research and be enlightened at the very many endless crimes that the US has done to the POC communities. I know this book is gonna break me, but you know what? Everybody deserves a good breaking every now and then. I've got Fake Accounts by Lauren Oyler. Jalen from the bar in the bookcase hyped this up. He said it was one of his favorite books of the year. I really trust his taste, so it's about a woman who finds out her boyfriend is living this double life as a pro-Trump conspiracy theorist online in various social media accounts. So she's excited to end that relationship built on lies. But as she closes that door, her life just gets weirder and full of more deception. Really original on the premise. I'm sure if Jalen loves it, I'll like it just fine. Lastly, we have White Ivy by Susie Yang. Another book club darling. I felt like everybody and their grandmother read this book. It's about a Chinese immigrant girl who grows up in Massachusetts and wants to assimilate as fast as possible. While trying to embrace a new whiteness, she falls for a boy that she isn't meant to, all while her tiger mom is breathing down her back about her grades, her behavior, and of course, her looks. Ivy actually looks to her grandmother for comfort and guidance, and getting the life she wants. This book also fast forwards to the future where Ivy is living the life she's always wanted, and she also falls into a bit of a love triangle from a boy in her past and a new boy she just met. It becomes a story about race, love, and remembering who you are. This was labeled as commercial fiction, which means it was meant to be a bestseller. It was using a lot of buzzwords and tropes, and I don't know how I feel about commercial fiction yet. I've read something by Taylor Jenkins Reid recently, which made me think that I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm a sucker for an immigrant story, especially if it involves a woman. So now for the nonfiction, I have Wow, No Thank You by Samantha Irby. Samantha Irby has a bunch of these essay collections where she talks about her quirky life and really, really bad IBS, but I have been told that this is her best work, so I wanted to start with this one and then maybe work my way around the rest. Irby is a black woman in her 40s who has body issues, back problems, bad dates, you get it. I'm told this collection is really funny and that Irby's life is filled with countless impossibly weird experiences, so excited for that. Calypso by David Sedaris, another author who has a lot of essay collections that are also funny. But I have never read David Sedaris and I've been told that he is my kind of humor. While Sedaris is known for writing hilarious essays, I am told that Calypso is one of his more serious ones, so he blends satirical humor with hard-hitting emotional trauma, which is kind of like the perfect child to me. I love being hurt and laughing immediately between chapters, so what a surprise! Another memoir. This is Saigon by Phuc Tran. This book follows Phuc and the fall of Saigon and his family's immigration to America right after. Phuc and his family land in Pennsylvania and try to assimilate the best they can, but alongside the inevitable bullying, culture shock, and family trauma, Phuc also talks about the highlights of his life, such as reading books like The Scarlet Letter, listening to 80s hair metal, and becoming the tattoo artist he never thought possible. It's a punk rock memoir about the immigrant experience. Am I interested? Duh. Finally, a surprise pick for me. This is Your Mind on Plants by Michael Pollan. Pollan dissects the 3 major plants humans tend to be addicted to: opium, caffeine, and mescaline, which is a hallucinogenic drug. Think LSD. He dives into why we get addicted and how they've been sought after for centuries, and how that desire for them can always get a little bit out of control and eventually harmful. I always forget that caffeine has addictive properties, so I'm curious to see where it ends up between painkillers and psychedelics. I don't doubt that it's high up there. Time for manga and graphic novels. I got Run on Your New Legs. I am shocked at the amount of disabled visibility that is happening in the graphic novel world. Congrats, it's about damn time. The story is about Shota, a soccer player whose dreams of going pro get crushed after a horrible accident. Shota becomes distant and disillusioned with life when a man known for making incredible prosthetics approaches him with a proposition. He will make Shota the perfect leg for running, and maybe eventually sports. All he has to do in return is run. This has a great premise and an amazing character style. It reminds me a lot of Inoue's Real, and that's one of my favorite mangas of all time, so I cannot wait to start that one. Black Clover, Volume 1. I am a big fan of seinen and shonen. I just can't stand the fan service that comes with so many of them. I'm talking One Piece, I'm talking Fire Force, I'm talking just about most of them. I'm just a little too old to be watching a main character fall into a pair of boobs. Black Clover is about Asta, a boy who wants to become the world's greatest mage, except that he doesn't have any magic. In fact, he has anti-magic, which I assume is exactly what it sounds like. This story follows his adventures and endless battles on his way to becoming the Wizard King. I'm told the fan service on this is pretty mild, and I'm told the anime is just fine, so Mama's eager for this one. I also got Vinland Saga, Book 1. Like I said, I love the action stuff. I just can't stand the fan service, and I'm told this has almost none. So that I'm excited for. I don't know much about it. I'm just told that it is about Vikings, betrayal, war, the search for freedom. I'm also told that the anime slaps, so any manga that has an anime for it that is severely addicting, I am all for. I gotta balance out the action and trauma with some girly stuff. I have Sayonara Football, Volume 1. I'm really excited about this one because I love girls' sports manga that isn't creepy and sexualized. This is about 2 girls who are soccer rivals, and they go to different middle schools, and they're just kind of butting heads back and forth until they join high school and end up at the same high school. So they have to play on the same team. They have to work out their differences and also help the rest of the lackluster team get up to par. I was shocked when I found out this was written by a man. But then I found out that he also wrote Your Lie in April, and I thought, okay, that's why they're not naked and oiled up for no reason on the cover. Finally, for graphic novels, I have Lore Olympus. I feel like everyone under the sun has read the webtoon except me. I don't know why I hadn't started it either. I'm a huge Greek mythology fan. I love retellings, I love reimaginings, and I'm told that's exactly what this is. I don't know anything about it other than it is a reimagining, and it's like this kind of Great Gatsby-esque love story between Persephone and Hades. I'm also told that the artist uses color in a beautiful and emotional way, so I'm excited to see how that goes. That concludes my massive haul. The school semester just started literally yesterday, so the amount of work that I really have to do within the next week is insane to me, and the amount of reading I'm gonna actually get done is questionable, but I'm hopeful. I've surpassed my reading goal for the year, and anything else that I read on top of it has just been really nice bonuses. So I hope you're all having a great reading month. I hope fall happens faster for the rest of us, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!